Right, I think that's working. Still playing Fallen Eagles 2. Last time I think I posted a quick video of the second scenario, and I've just done the Prussian steamroller as well, which is the third and last of the smaller scenarios. It's quite tight. I think the French won that 4-3. It was kind of in the balance until the last turn, which is it's a 4-turn scenario. So that was pretty good, and I was very keen to try and get the whole thing on the table. I've not played many sort of tactical games on Waterloo, despite it being, probably one of the most famous battles in history. Had a go at La Bataille once many years ago. Did that 4-player. Didn't finish it, as is often the case with some of the bigger games. But this one looks quite manageable. So I'll set the game up. And for those who haven't seen the second edition, might be interested to see how the look compares to the first edition, which was I think 2015 when that came out. A couple of little bits of errata which I noticed because I set up and I was trying to conjure up a plan for the French, because the initiative is very much with the French and they're in the driving seat. They need to make things happen. There is a sudden death victory condition which will trigger if the French don't do enough by, I think, the 4 PM turn. So that puts a bit of pressure on them, which is probably a good thing, because it give it a good tempo, I think. And I was thinking, well, how do you change orders? Once you've made your initial gains, you then need to hopefully change orders at the start of the turn, and there's nothing in either the specific rule book for Fallen Eagles or in the standard set of rules. Maybe it's mentioned in the early versions, but this is the most up to date. I forget which. Yeah, so version 2.3 is the most up to date series rules. I haven't gone back and checked some of the earlier ones. I think the earliest game I've got was probably the Austerlitz, the Rising Eagles. But it's in the errata anyway, which is easily obtained from normal sources, Consim or Board Game Geek. Essentially, the French roll each turn. It's basically a 1d3, d6 divided by 2, round down, round up. Yeah, because a 1 is a 1. And the coalition just roll a 1d6, and that's the number of formations you can change the orders of. When the Prussians arrive, you get an additional 2 added onto the coalition total. So we're all set to go, really. I've set up. There's an interesting section in the specific rules about sort of French options. So I'll chat through those whilst we look at the map, which we'll do now. Okay, right, we'll stand back a little bit. There's the footprint. So it's two map sheets. So my 4-foot by 6-foot table can easily accommodate the required space, and there's ample room for things like order of battle charts. There's actually two for the coalition. You see the Prussians are waiting to come on the subs bench, and I've got the orders charts. I mean, I'm playing it solitaire. I'll pretend not to notice. I guess you'd have a screen up there between the two if you were playing it face to face, and the turn track. So here we are, the classic Battle of Waterloo, June 18th, 1815, and you'll see the French forces deployed here. It's the Guard, who actually have some the Guard think that's the, is it the light or the, can't remember now. That's the Guard Heavy Cavalry on the left, and the Guard Light Cavalry is over here. There are restrictions on when they can move during the day. We've got Mouton's 6th Corps in the middle, Rise Corps, which is the one that's just assaulted Hougoumont, and the Delon is up here, sort of facing La Haye Sainte. And then you've got the Reserve Cavalry Corps, Kellermann's, Cuirassiers, and Milhaud's heavy cavalry over here. So facing them is the coalition forces. There's the Guards division. I think there's elements of sort of 4th division here. 3rd Dutch Belgian way over here. These are the Uxbridge's cavalry. In fact, they're in about 3 different sectors. Alton's 3rd Division in the centre, and what's that? That's the 6th Division over here, and Picton's 5th. So they're awaiting the onslaught. It starts at 11 AM. First turn's actually mud. I think the impact of that is movement of the artillery, I think, is one of the downsides of the mud. But I have heard there's less subtlety in this game than in something like Ligny, when there's more chance for manoeuvre. But the rules do go through 2 sort of main strategic options. You've got the left wing option, where essentially the 2nd Corps encircles Hougoumont but avoids a direct result, and they're supported by the 3rd and 4th Cavalry Corps. And the 1st Corps will take on La Haye Sainte, and the Guard advance between Belle Alliance and La Haye Sainte, to start to put pressure on the Allied line by about 4 o'clock. So that is one option. The second option it talks about is what it calls the centre-left option. So once again, the 2nd Corps encircles Hougoumont but goes around to the right hand side, and the 1st Corps still engages La Haye Sainte, and you end up with this mass assault in the middle, which I guess they're trying to get to a point of decision before the Prussians start to arrive, which is, I think, Bulau's 4th Corps is about 2 o'clock, which comes on up here. So the French, I guess, will have to allocate some screening troops, as they think it was the Young Guard went across to try and hold the Prussians at bay. And the third option, which is what they call the right wing option. So the 1st Corps go after Papelotte, and Papelotte is just here. That's one of the objective spaces. So you're swinging around a bit more to the right. It says this is a plan B for a marginal victory, and not what Napoleon would have done, however. And then you apparently get to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you've got to decide if you're going to go for a knockout victory, or if you are going to try and contain the Allies and win on points. And the objectives in the map are quite interesting. Just find those. So there's essentially Hougoumont, La Haye Sainte, which is here, Braine-l'Alleud, which is up here, occupied by the 3rd Dutch Belgian, Braine, which I think is here, Le Mesnil, which is, I saw that earlier, it's up here further to the rear, and Papelotte. So there's those 5, and there's the French unit within 4 hexes of the Mont Saint-Jean farm, which is here. If they can take all those, which I think is probably pretty tough, by 4 PM they'll basically win the game. Or they can also win the game if at the end of any turn he controls any 4 of those 4 PM objectives, and either the Anglo-Allied supply hex, which is the start at the top, or the Mont Saint-Jean place. Mont Saint-Jean is just here on the road to Brussels. So, I mean, it's fairly concentrated in this. This is where most of the objectives are, with the exception, I guess, of Papelotte, which is here. So, food for thought there. We've also got to get to the Planche Noire church, which is not jumping out at me at the moment. Oh, it's down here. So that's pretty much in the French lines. So if they can have 4 of those other objectives, and either the Allied supply hex or the Mont Saint-Jean and the Planche Noire farm, which they've got that's a reinforced structure. So that's essentially another farmhouse, which will be tough to take. So yeah, lots of interesting choices there. So I need to start to consider orders. All these formations will start with an order. 15 hexes away from the formation leader. So I don't know, I need to ponder that for a little bit, try and come up with a plan. But yeah, looking forward to giving it a go, and should get around to posting an update sometime.